What's going on, people? And welcome to United by Numbers. Obviously, as usual, Statman's in the building. What are you saying, fam?
Good, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've recovered. You get me? I slept well last night, bro. You know what I mean? The game definitely helped get me there, bro. You get me?
Absolute ball fest yesterday. Nothing going on in the game. I think the first half we didn't even have a shot on target.
But we expected that, though, if we're honest, innit? We know when United make loads of changes, the quality, the drop in quality is always very pronounced, innit? And yesterday was no different.
But at the same time, you're still playing LASK. Like, I know I keep saying it. LASK, they finished second in the league or whatever country they're in. And I think they sacked their manager as well. So that was the manager's first game. And they actually look more organised than us.
Yeah, they did, but this is the thing though. I saw someone tweet online and they were saying it's not even about coaching. Yeah, these players should be beating these players, and I was like, bro, like a bad team, yeah, that's well organized can definitely beat a decent team with no organization. That's how football works. Do you know what I mean? Like we often see with good coaches that teams outperform what they should be doing just based on organization, good coaching. We've seen it. There's millions of examples in football, like, and even within the Premier League, you see it all the time. What Sheffield United are doing with the squad they had on paper, they had no right to be. Yeah, they tailed off after lockdown, but they had some good momentum, and we've seen it. We've seen numerous examples of that in football, bro. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man.
Southampton the other day. Ralph
Yeah,
Hassan outclassed Oli.
yeah, he's a top manager though. I think he won't be there very long. I see him getting snapped up within the next season or two for sure. He'll end up with a good job. But there's numerous examples of that. Now, I mean, we saw it at Wolves. They built a very good team now, but while they were building, they were still getting decent results, especially against the top six teams as well. Their biggest problem, from speaking to Wolves fans, was actually beating the teams around them at one point.
I think last season was it. They struggled beating Huddersfield, I think it was. I think they were the
Exactly.
only team to lose twice to Huddersfield last year.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that's just what it is, man. And oddly enough, I touched on in the post match, our two best players, Fred and Jesse Lingard, got hooked yesterday, which I didn't understand again in the game. And it's not like we were comfortable when he hooked them either. Do you know what I mean? So like, there's numerous examples of decision making that doesn't really make sense. And for me, he's still on fraud watch, innit? Manager's still on fraud watch. He's going to be on fraud watch for a very long time, innit?
I think what surprised me was like, you're taking them off, but they're not going to play on Monday. So what's the
Yeah.
point? And you brought on Pogba, you just give him a rest. You brought on Martial later on, just give him a rest. There was no point.
But this is the thing, they're not going to play on Monday. That's why you could see the clear annoyance from Fred and Jesse. They were both annoyed because they knew they weren't playing on Monday. We're going to go back to our usual strong 11 that we always play every game, innit? So taking them off wasn't a tactical, it wasn't a thing where I'm saving you for Monday, lads. You know what I mean? It was a case of he thought that that was the best decision to make for the team at the time, which for me shows me that the game he's watching is very different to the game a lot of us are watching right now.
And we praise his man management. Jesse has been low on confidence all year, for over a year now. He's actually got a bit of good form right now. Why take him off? You can clearly see how annoyed he was yesterday.
Yeah, and that's two goals. What, two goals in what, 70 minutes of football or something like that, and he gets hooked. And then Fred, for the millionth time, gets hooked here when he's having a better game than McTominay. And you can see that he's fuming. Like, it's not the first time he's looked visibly angry from being substituted. And it's not the first time that he's been miles better than McTominay, which we'll highlight with the numbers. Like, we'll just go straight in to start with Fred's numbers. 64 minutes played, 85% pass accuracy, which is good. Like, a lot of people online, every time Fred gives the ball away, they're like, oh, I see, I told you about Fred. He had a solid game yesterday, but these people will look for any reason to try and bash Fred, man. There's a certain section of the fan base that love to scapegoat him. He's one of the easiest guys to kind of throw under the bus.
Especially when you compare his numbers to McTominay afterwards in terms of pass accuracy.
Yep, 71 touches, only lost the ball 12 times, 100% long balls completed, 11 from 11, 100% final third passes completed, 10 out of 10. Brilliant numbers. You know what I mean? 5 from 8 ground duels won, one from 1 dribbles completed, 7 ball recoveries, 3 tackles, 2 times he was dribbled past, which is normal for Fred anyway. Like, because of the way he engages the ball, people do get past him, but he tends
That's
to
it.
recover very well.
Yeah, I think normally on average he gets dribble past 3.1 times per game, so it's basically what we were expecting with Fred. But looking at those numbers, they're actually great numbers.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I keep saying, when comparing it to McTominay, I think everyone's going to be shocked that Ollie took Fred off first.
Yep. McTominay, 71.9% pass accuracy. That's diabolical. That's diabolical. Central midfield. And McTominay's not a creator, so he can't have that excuse. That he has no passing range. McTominay does A to B basic primary passes. If this guy can't find a teammate from 5 yards away, he shouldn't be wearing a Manchester United shirt.
And he lost the ball 25 times yesterday.
Mate,
25.
25 times he lost the ball. 78 touches on the ball. 13 ball recoveries. 7 from 15 final third passes complete. So less than 50%. So that means he was breaking down our attacks as well. 6 from 18 ground duels won. So we only won a third of those. Aerial 3 from 4, which you would expect. Two from 6 dribbles completed. So he was losing the ball there. 3 times he was dribbled past as well. Tackled twice. 1-2 fouls, 1 block, 1 shot, which was off target and created 1 chance. Absolute disaster class. That's what that was. That was a disaster class. And Fred got hooked before him.
I think I looked at McTominay yesterday. I'm like, what are you? You can't pass. You're not fast. Yeah, you got a bit of physique, and that's basically it. Because his passing range is poor, and that showed that yesterday. He can't create anything. So I baffled me why Ollie took off Fred first.
He's an athlete. That's what he is. He's the typical English/British academy footballer. You know what I'm saying? Like 17 on the bleep test. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's all it is, bro. You know what I mean? He's just an athlete. You know what I mean? He takes off his top. He looks shredded and that Bruce Lee physique. Yeah, it looks great, man. But can you play football? I remember in pre-season when he posted that video and Bruno was like, yeah, don't forget the ball work, bro. Like, Bruno knows he's crap, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Bruno knows, innit? And Bruno digs people out on socials, which I do like about him. Do you know what I mean? And McTominay's a fraud, innit? He's an absolute fraud. As you said, what is he actually good at, guys? Leave your comments, yeah, below. Let us know what he's actually good at. Because when I'm judging players, I like to think, what are they actually good at? When I had Ricky on the show, I said, all right, Dan James, what's he good at, mate? Like, what's he good at? Do you know what I mean? What is McTominay good at, guys?
I think looking back at his time at United, I think the only reason Jose Mourinho actually promoted him was because of his height.
For sure.
And that was it. There's nothing, I can't see anything on the ball of McTominay.
And he tried to play him centre-back.
Yeah.
Absolute joke. Juan Mata, who I didn't think had a great first half. He grew into the game, but still, for what he was, I don't see much use for him in the Manchester United squad going forward. I don't know where you stand on Juan Mata. I just think that what he used to give us and the impact he used to have on games, he's no longer having.
I think, what is he now, 31, 32?
Yeah, I think like if he's not 32, then I think he's almost there.
Yeah, because right now he's not offering us anything off the bench. Like, he doesn't even seem like a loud, vibrant leader in the changing room or anything. He's literally friends with Tahir, and that's basically it. So if you're not offering anything from the bench and you can't play 90 minutes, we know that. What are you here for?
But this is exactly it, my guy. Like, and the thing is, he as you said, he's not an impact player. Ollie persists on playing him from wide. It would have made sense to play Lingard from the right and play Mata down the middle because that's his position. I don't know what the manager's obsessions since he's come to the club. He's played off the right-hand side. Juan Mata is not good there. He has no pace. He hasn't got ability to take people on. Like, he's got very good ball control, but he's not a player that beats. He can't beat you one-on-one. Mata can glide into spaces. and cut players out with clever movement and touches and stuff, but he doesn't have the one-on-one ability to beat players. So playing him from wide makes absolutely no sense. One, he doesn't stay there, he drifts inside anyway. And when he does receive the ball out wide, he offers it zero threat. So I don't understand the logic in playing Lingard down the middle and Mata on the right. When you've got them both on the pitch, it makes sense to play Lingard from the right and Mata down the middle.
And we saw that in the second half when Chelsea went on the left.
But there you go. There you go, my guy. So it's just, again, the manager undoing mistakes that he made in the first place. It's like, it's basic stuff. It's elementary stuff. 82% pass accuracy for Juan Mata. 76 touches. 19 times lost possession. For him, that's surprising, isn't it? Because the old Juan Mata takes a lot better care of the football than what we're seeing now. The Juan Mata of 3-4 years ago isn't throwing up numbers like that.
And I think, I keep saying it, he was given a new contract under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm pretty sure. We keep saying the squad players are not good enough, but how many of them have been given new contracts by Ole? We've seen that with Mata. We've seen that with Mata. We've seen that with McTominay. We've seen that with Pereira. We've seen that with
Phil Jones, Matic.
Yeah.
So he clearly thinks these players are good, but then on the flip side, he doesn't play them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he doesn't rotate them in, but he's giving them long contracts. Again, people say that the club's moving in the right direction, but there seems like there's no cohesion, There's no correlation between decisions being made. You don't give players long contracts like Phil Jones, and then not play them. Because Phil Jones don't have resale value. So giving him a long contract for resale value actually doesn't make business sense. No one's going to pay more than 15 million for Phil Jones. It's not going to happen.
Especially on the wages on as well. Probably over £100,000.
He is. He's on like 110 or something. So he's not going to be worth. I reckon if we get 10 million for him, we'll do all right, innit? What's the fee they're saying they want for Chris Smalling? About 15 million euros or something like that.
Yeah.
It's about 10 million pounds. So we're not going to get that. We won't even get that for Phil Jones because of his injury record. At least Smalling can stay fit. So Phil Jones, we're not getting 10 million for. Why would you give him a 3 or 4 year contract? Makes no sense. Makes no sense, my guy. 18 from 26 final third passes complete. Again, when you compare that to Fred's, Juan Mata is meant to be the creative number 10. And that's very unlike the Juan Mata that you would expect for his final third passes to be incomplete like that. And it's not like they were intricate passes either.
I think in the first half, he was through and goal, had a simple ball that he could have played to Garland. I think Jesse was on the back post, and he hit straight at the defender.
Yeah, hit the first man. You know what I mean? 11 from... Yeah, go on.
I think I just summed up his game. Like, his stats actually look all right. But when I was watching him, he offered... It
looks poor. Exactly. Yeah. 11 from 12 long balls completed. 5 from 7 dribbles completed. 6 touches in the opposition box. 4 chances created. And he actually got 2 assists, which would be surprising to a few people that watched the game because it didn't look like a Juan Mata 2 assists kind of game.
I think there was moments and he turned up or he paid that pass. And that was basically it with Juan Mata yesterday.
Absolutely. Like he kind of just drifted in and out of the game, innit? But he was involved in some of the crucial moments. But as a whole, his performance was nowhere near what you would expect from a player of his caliber. Whether he's got that quality now is a different story. But you can only go off what we bought him to do and what we know that he has been capable of doing in the past. And he's simply not doing that.
But then again, I keep saying it. There's no footballing structure to anything that we do right now. Why am I say he's 32? Why are we giving him a new contract? Like, and the thing is, you can see with Oli, I think he kind of wants to do a pressing game with the types of plays we have. Why give Juan Mata a new contract when he literally doesn't suit the style of play?
Yeah.
Say if we do get a director of football, when director of football buys plays for that system, for that role, for the style that you want the team to play. Juan Mata is literally the opposite of everything that we're trying to do. Yeah. So it just makes no sense.
But I've said that under loads of managers. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to play a pressing game or something like that, you probably keep it under Herrera. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just certain things that you do and you don't do in it, which I said there's no correlation. the Maguire signing to complement Lindelof didn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just loads of things. If you want to be an attacking front foot team, yeah, Wan-Bissaka as your right fullback probably isn't the signing you make. You know what I mean? Pep would never sign Wan-Bissaka. Do you know what I mean? Klopp would never sign Wan-Bissaka because they have a clear idea of the football they want to play. Like, all of these signings look like isolated signings. They don't look like a signing with a bigger picture in mind. You know what I mean? And this is what worries me. Ollie's talking about, we like to press and that. We don't press as a team. Southampton can press. They killed us with the press. Do you know what I mean? With lesser players. And then again, if we're a counter-attacking team, why do we persist on trying to play out from the back and we don't have players good enough to do that? Playing out from the back, yeah, equates to possession football. We're not a possession side. So why don't we just bypass the midfield and get the ball up the pitch? Because we lose the ball. I'd love to see a stat of how much we lose the ball trying to play out from the back in our own third, because we do it a lot. We make a lot of our own problems, and it comes from De Gea's lack of ability to kick. His distribution is poor. I don't know how many times a season he puts the ball out for a throw in when we pass it back to him. You know what I mean? And then Harry Maguire, dallying. Victor Lindelof can't pass more than about 5 yards anyway. Wan-Bissaka, if you give him the ball at right back, he's just going to pass it back inside to the centre back because he doesn't carry the ball well. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, man.
I think that just goes down to like so many different players from different managers coming together. But then I say this, I look at Ollie and you're basically signing players which don't suit what you're supposed to be wanting to play. So it's baffling.
Well, it's confusing, bro. It's very, very it's very confusing. And that's why I said I can't buy into it. I can't buy into it because I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows what he wants to do, but even like the pressing is a way of the whole team. Like, one player doesn't press. We have players that initiate presses, but you're meant to press in like 2s and 3s. Like, you don't press on your own. The amount of times I see Martial pressing on his own, or Bruno pressing on his own, like Bruno will run and be pressing like the centre back, and you just left a massive hole in the midfield because no one's come with him. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to press in waves. That's basic coaching. If you don't know how to coach the press, don't play it.
And I think we saw that with Arteta's first game. I think it was against Chelsea. You could clearly see they were pressing from the front. They were pressing in triangles. They had patterns of play already, and that was probably after a week of Arteta.
Absolutely. And that's just the difference. We're going to Jesse Lingard's numbers. 63 minutes played. 78.6% pass accuracy. And he had loads of nice little touches as well in and around the box. Him and Mata linked up a few times. Like, he looked like his confidence is coming back. 44 touches. 12 from 16 in the final third, which was actually better than Mata's. You wouldn't expect that because Mata's supposed to be the passer. 3 from 5 dribbles completed. 1 shot, 1 goal. Clinical, efficient, good energy. Like, all in all, it's probably the man of the match. Like, a very, very solid game from him, and his confidence is coming back. And I've always said that there's a player in there, man. I feel like the system lets Jesse Lingard down. I'm by no means saying that he's a brilliant footballer, but in every squad, there are players in there that are just in there that can just do a job. Do you know what I mean? Fletcher was a guy that could just do a job. Like, he was never going to be a starter for Man United, but against certain teams, he suited a Darren Fletcher. Certain teams suited a Ji-Sung Park. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things where I think that Jesse has uses. Out of all the players that are on the fringe, he's probably the most useful.
I think he's always fit, so you can never hold that against him. He can play in a couple of positions. He always tries his best. Comparing that to like Pereira or Mata, there's a massive difference. And I think with Jesse, it's not just on the pitch. I know I don't really like saying it, but off the pitch, massive. Yeah. Like, he's in touch with the fans. Like, all the young kids love him. So in terms of actual marketability, like, it makes sense if you keep him.
Yeah, all the kids have Lingard shirts, bro, at the games. When you go to the games, there's loads of Jesse shirts. Loads of them. Do you know what I mean? Because he's just got that about him, man. I mean, and you can tell that he's very well respected in the changing room as well. Like, he's a big character in it. So I think that he's very important. And not only is it important to have Jesse, but it's important to have a happy Jesse, or else just let him go. Like, stuff like pulling him off yesterday would have done nothing for his confidence. He's looking at it like, I ain't scored in how many months, and then I bagged 2 in 2 and I get hooked off. Meanwhile, McTominay and Dan James are out here. I mean, robbing a living, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense. We'll go into Dan James now. 80% pass accuracy, only 31 touches. He's one of the players I highlighted that loves to hide in a football match, Dan James. Loves to hide. How the hell has he got 31 touches in a full game of football, bro?
And you're playing LASK. I keep saying it. Like, I can't name one LASK player I'm playing yesterday. I think that just says it all.
Bro, 31 touches means, yeah, he went, yeah, at some periods over 3 minutes, yeah, without touching the football on a team, against a team like that, as an attacker, where Manchester United had most of the ball. How is that a thing? How is that a thing?
And in the first half, we always say, oh, he's always playing on the right. He played on the left in the first half. That's his normal position. And he didn't do anything. And then Jesse went on to the left and scored a goal.
Bro, 4 touches in the opposition box. His pace is a myth, by the way. Everyone talks about how quick he is. Yeah, he is quick. But if you don't, bro, you know what's mad, yeah? He uses his pace in the wrong places. Like, it's mad. There was one ball that Fred played to him, like a very good ball down the right-hand side. And Dan James's pace has taken him onto it. And then the cross hits the first man. And it's like every time he gets the ball out of his feet, he literally looks up once and just tries to hit an area. Like, he has no intelligence. He doesn't know that sometimes just put your foot on the ball, slow it down, wait for some people to get into the box. If there's one player in the box, you'll try and find them. Like, you're not David Beckham.
And I think, like, I keep saying it, like, coaching, someone has to be telling him these things. But it looks like the Dan James that we got at the start of the season to the Dan James that we got now is literally the exact same player.
Yeah. Just devoid of confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 6 from 10 final third passes completed, so just over 15%, or just over 50%, 60% really. 11 from 10, 11 times lost possession, bro. You know what I mean? Playing from right mid, and those were probably crosses each time. That wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? This is 1 from 4 crosses completed, yeah. But listen, Dan James is the most unorthodox right winger I've ever seen in my life. The most, I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand it.
I think with Dan James, I looked at him in the first half. You're on the left-hand side. This is your normal side. And I just see him doing Cruyff turns inside into like 3 people.
Yeah, bro.
What are you doing?
1 from 3 dribbles completed against a guy that's meant to be direct and have pace. But you're not committing your man. 3 dribbles in the whole game from a front foot attacking pacey winger. What are you doing, bro? Like, there's nothing about Dan James that is remotely Premier League quality. And imagine if he did end up at Leeds, Bielsa would have hung him out to dry. He would have been in League 2 by now.
And I think all he always says is defensive winger. If you want to put up the average positioning right now here.
Yeah, let's go straight into the average positioning.
He was the highest player, the highest up, ahead of Igalo. So I think that just says it all with Dan James.
Bro, man's a goal hanger, fam. That's what he is. He's a goal hanging magician, bro. He vanishes. That's what he does. Dan James is literally the highest up the pitch, bro. Like, higher than Igalo.
We saw this against Chelsea as well when he was the highest player.
Yeah, he played like a centre forward. And he's not even that wide as well. His average position is quite narrow as well. So it's like, what the hell is he doing, bro? Like, actually, what is he doing? The guy offers 0. He offers nothing. Fresh legs for 10 minutes at the end of the game is the best I can do for a player like Dan James. It's the best I can do for a player like him. We had no natural width. Even Jesse's quite narrow, his average position. Because, again, they're not... Well, I say Jesse's not a natural wide player, but Dan James actually is.
I think
so. Why wasn't he holding a whiff?
I think with that, he also played on the left in the first half, the right in the second half, so it kind of puts him in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. One matter, average position is what you would expect of a number 10. What you'd expect of a number 10, and that's it. There's just. Again, bro, if you just look at the average positions on these teams, bro, what formation is that? Tell me.
And another thing, we're playing last. look how like our fullbacks are behind the halfway line, and if we're playing a narrow, like front 3 behind the striker was quite narrow, so you expect the width to come from the fullbacks, and they're not providing anything. I thought Foster Mentor was shocking yesterday.
Because they're not coached, bro. Not coached. How against a team that dead, yeah, is your average position for fullbacks behind the halfway line, brother? I think that says it all. There's no consistency with anything that Manchester United do, which is again why I can't buy into it. I can't buy into it. If I saw something consistently being done, but we weren't getting the results, then I could say, you know what? He just doesn't have the players. He just doesn't have the players. But I can see what he's trying to do. Like I remember when Klopp came in and everyone was laughing, saying, "Oh yeah, his numbers are similar to Brendan Rodgers." But you could visually see in the performances what he was trying to do. The intensity was higher. Do you know what I'm saying? Where they were retrieving the ball back was higher. Everything was different. And even though he didn't have the players, you could see that he was building something. I can't see anything remotely of any pattern with this Manchester United team, whether it's defensively or attackingly, for me to actually believe that just giving him better players is the answer.
I think if you just look at the average position game by game, we don't know what we're doing. Like, our wingers meant to stay wide or they're meant to tuck in. We don't know.
Ole Gunnar freestyle, innit? That's what Saeed says. He doesn't get many things right, but that was one of them. You know the one, Saeed. You've had some stinkers right now, bro. Know what I mean? You got blood on your hands for the Harry Beckenbauer thing still. Brandon Williams versus Tahith Chong. What about Chong yesterday, bro? When Chong came on, everyone was like, "Chong left back, what?" I saw on Twitter, 2-2s now. He's looking like prime Roberto Carlos, bro. Like, what's going on?
I think I've heard rumours that he's going to leave as well in the summer, going along to Germany.
Yeah, he looks fuming because he signed a new deal and he's not getting no game time. But again, Oli don't rotate, so I don't know why he thought he was getting game time.
But to be honest, he was linked with teams like Juventus anyway. Like, he wasn't going to get game time there.
Yeah, it's true. Like minutes played, yeah. If you compare Brandon to Tahith Chong, 72 to 18. Tahith Chong, pass accuracy 83%. He wins 83 to 80%. Touches only 28 to Brandon's 70. Possession lost only 6 times to 19 for Brandon. But dribbles completed 1 from 2 for Tahith Chong, none from 4 for Brandon. None from none crosses completed for Tahith Chong. He didn't play any crosses in, but what he did do was he played some clever passes inside. And when he came on, I think he linked up with Mata and Jesse quite early when he came through, and it went to a chance for Igalo, and Igalo should have finished it. But like he showed a lot of attacking intelligence, yeah, breaking from deep, and a lot of bravery. Like he was overlapping, he was getting forward quickly. Do you know what I mean? And it was refreshing to see, man.
I think he kind of had that winger's instinct in him when he played. You could clearly tell that he was a winger playing at left back.
Absolutely. Ground jewels 1. Only 5 from 10 for Brandon, yeah, 50%. 5 from 6 for Tahith Chong, which is a lot better than 5 from 10. Like, bro, I'm gonna be honest, yeah. What I saw from Tahith Chong, even though it was just LASK, yeah, it made me happy, bro, just to see a fullback actually just getting forward and actually trying to get involved. Like, even when Brandon Williams gets high up the pitch, he doesn't really get involved. Like, he doesn't really create anything. He just cuts inside and passes it across, and then that's his job done. But because he looks like he's trying really hard, it looks like he's really involved. But Brandon's another one that kind of hides, bro, like in games.
I think yesterday with Chong, I'm not getting too carried away with the left back thing. Like, you're playing last.
Not at all.
18 minutes played. Like, I can't even name the person that you're playing on that side again.
Nobody, bro. But in modern day football, if you've got a good system, yeah, and you've got a technical player that's got a bit of athleticism, you saw it with Saka playing at left back for Arsenal. He's not a defender, bro, but he played left back all right because he's got an engine on him and he's just got a decent level of technical ability. Well, better than decent. Like, he's a good technical player and he's left-footed. Bro, in the modern game, that's all you need.
You see it with James Milner all the time doing a job at left back or right back.
Bro, that's all you need. That's why when I said to people, Fred could play left back, bro, and he would be a good attacking left back because he can defend well, he's got pace, and he can cross the ball, bro. And when he gets forward, he can actually play like passes that break the lines. Fred could easily play left back under like a Klopp or a Pochettino or a Pep Guardiola, easily, just to do a job there because he's got all the attributes. A modern day left back doesn't have to be an amazing defender.
I think fullback's already the easiest position to play right now in football.
Yeah.
So I think that did help Chong yesterday.
Absolutely. Aerial duels. 1 from 1 for Chong, none for Brandon. Ball recoveries 5 for Brandon, 0 for Chong. Tackles 4-2 in favor of Brandon, 1 interception to none in favor of Brandon, 1 clearance to none in favor of Brandon, and then fouls 2 for Chong, 1 for Brandon Williams. So again, it's one of them ones where if you look at their numbers, it almost looks like they played in 2 different games.
Given the benefit of that, Brandon Williams, Chong did come on when we had more of the ball.
But that's what I'm saying. It looks like they played in 2 different games.
I think Pogba was on during that time that Chong was on, so that obviously helps having Pogba instead of Fred in the midfield.
And that's what I mean. It looks like 2 different games. It looks like Brandon played in a game where he was defending more. Chong played in a game where we were attacking more. And that's what it was like. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think the numbers clearly reflect that. So, there's one of them ones where definitely I'm not getting carried away with the Chong performance, but it is just hammering home why I want a fullback like that on both sides that just attack, bro. Like in my head, why Dallo can't get minutes don't make sense to me. And that's why I always get onto Luke Shaw, because he's meant to be an attacking fullback, but his first instinct isn't to break forward the way that Chong breaks forward. Do you know what I mean? He's very much a defender in his head that gets painted with this attacking fullback brush here, but he has no assists.
And people will say, like, he's creating so many chances, we're just missing them. I think expected assist numbers were below 2, I think it was. And Wan-Bissaka was close to 4. So I think that says it all.
There you go. Fosu-Mensah, 77% pass accuracy, 82 touches, 17 times possession lost from fullback. That's poor, mate.
I think I looked at the team yesterday. There's still places to fight if we get to the final. Do any of these players actually look like they want to play in the final? And the answer is no. Like, I looked at Fosu-Mensah. You actually got a chance of playing left back in the final because Luke Shaw's probably not going to be fit.
Yeah.
So at least show us something. And yesterday, I just thought Fosu-Mensah looked like the game was 5-0 up in that game, and they've already done the job. Instead of actually, that game was like 0-0 for most of the time. And Fosu-Mensah, when he went forward, I thought he was lethargic. He took too many touches. He thought he was trying to, like. I always say this with Fosu-Mensah, when he cut back in at one point and just had a shot with his left foot, they looked like there was nothing going on with Fosu-Mensah yesterday. He didn't look bothered.
But this is the funny thing, and that's what I said before the game. I said a lot of these players can't afford to play like we're 5-0 up, because they're literally playing for. They might even be playing for their futures, mate. Because there's a lot of these guys that ain't even good enough for the bench next season if we do end up getting a Sancho and a Grealish and a someone else. These men are not making the squad. So they should have been playing for their lives yesterday. And a lot of these men were playing like they were just happy to be squad players at Manchester United. And if that's the case, get out, innit?
These are not even good enough to be squad players. Squad players beat LASK. These couldn't.
Comfortably, bro. They beat LASK. 8 ball recoveries. 6 from 8 ground duels won. 0 from 2 aerial duels won. 0 from 1 cross completed. 3 from 3 dribbles completed, 3 clearances, 2 fouls won, 1 tackle, 1 time dribble pass, and a game that nobody's going to remember for Fosu-Mensah. And the fact that he's playing ahead of Dallo tells me that it's personal with him and Oli, bruv. Because for Dallo to be behind Brandon Williams and Fosu-Mensah in any team is ludicrous for me.
Was Dallo even on the bench yesterday?
I don't think so.
Because he brought in Tender Mengi at right back instead of Dallo.
I don't know what he's playing at, mate. To be honest, that's one that people have to ask him about. Do you know what I mean? The people have to ask him about, man. I'm done with that, bro. Agallo, 56% pass accuracy, but yeah, it was 9 from 16. He wasn't involved in the game very much. They didn't really bring him into the game very much, and I feel sorry for him because it's like, I've never seen Agallo play in a strong Manchester United team and actually show us what he can do.
I think that just goes down to Ollie's rotation, though. I always say this, when you see Jurgen Klopp rotating, he when he rotates the fullbacks, it's never Trent and Robertson both not playing. It's either Trent or Robertson. It's not, so it's what at least one of them plays. So you still get rest, but you still kind of have a strong 11 when you bring the squad plays in. So it doesn't really matter about the performance. Like the drop in quality is not that much.
That's what I mean. This brother had, like, he only had 25 touches in the whole game. 25 touches in a 90-minute game. And there were times where Martial was going through similar things because the team weren't really bringing him into the game and he was getting stick. You can't really blame a centre forward for not having a big impact in the game when they've had 25 touches in the whole game. And there was a few passes, good passes that he did. There was one pass around the corner that he played for Jesse when he played Dan James through, and I think was Dan James offside or something, or I think it was a little build. Yeah, probably one of them things, but it was a nice little touch. He done some good things, but ultimately, it's hard to judge a player like that. He only had 6 touches in the opposition box, lost the ball 10 times, 100% dribbles completed, 4 from 4, 1 shot on target, which he should have scored, to be fair. He fell over and all that, but for me, like he should have got the ball out of his feet a bit quicker. And again, that he just looked like a player who hadn't played football in a while. Like when you're trying to get the ball out of your feet and sharpness, that comes from game time.
I think that has to be said about every single player, though. We haven't seen Wild Matter play at all since football's been back. How many games has Foster meant to play? Like 2. Brandon Williams hasn't played enough. McTominay, Fred, they haven't played enough. Dan James hasn't probably started 1 game or something, 2 games.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the only thing is, I know him from experience. You see, when you play as a striker, yeah, and you play with players up against you on your touch, when you play as a wide player, you receive the ball in space a lot of the time, innit? So your rustiness, you can kind of hide it. When you're centre forward, where it's a split second thought process, the difference between a defender getting a toe on it or you getting caught on the ball and that, I think sharpness is a bit more important because you don't have the space afforded to other players in other positions.
I think LASK played the back 3 as well. So 3 centre backs up against 1 striker makes it harder for Ricardo.
This is it. So ultimately, it was another performance that to forget for him, really. Like, no one's going to remember that. I think Jesse definitely got the man of the match. Other than that, there weren't too many standout performances. I thought Fred had a very good game. And it was just one of them ones where we did ultimately get the result, but there's still a lot of holes in what we're doing at the moment.
I think it's important to remember that these players didn't get the result. It was Pogba and Martial coming on that got us the result. That goal by Martial, a bit of a one touch play with Mata, gets the goal, bang, done.
But this is it. So it shows us, like, regardless of if we won or not, I always say that you should always be open to finding flaws, critiquing performances, even when we've won. I think it's important, and I think it still shows that we've got a lot of work to do as a football club and as a team to be taken seriously, man, by the likes of Manchester City, who have already secured 2 signings, and Liverpool, where if they get Thiago, it just takes them up to a different level because they've been playing with average players in the midfield.
And Man City are scary next year. They've been linked with João Felix. They've still been linked with Koulibaly at centre-back.
Bro, João Felix, blood. Anyhow they do a João Felix and Koulibaly thing, forget it, innit?
I think 5 subs may stay next year in the Premier League. So imagine City bringing on all these players.
Bro, but Felix, yeah, like he went for 110 million, yeah. I know that he isn't particularly getting on well with Simeone, but he's gonna cost. Surely he's gonna cost a lot of money.
Yeah, he probably still cost over 100 million pounds.
But they'll probably pay it in installments. So you know what I mean? They might be willing to take 50 million up front. You know what I mean? So if they can do that, it's frightening, bro. I can't even lie.
And they probably will knowing City.
Yeah, now they bust case, bro. It's possible.
And with financial fair play being relaxed this summer.
Oh, mate. I think we could see a mad thing, man. But big up everyone for tuning in. Make sure you slap that like button if you haven't already. Obviously, follow Statman Bains on Instagram. It'll be in the description anyway. But either way, make sure you head over there, interact with all the posts. It's not just United posts as well. He puts up loads of comparisons, loads of good ones. The Martial Aubameyang one was great to see as well, because when you saw the minutes played discrepancy between them, it shows you, you know what I mean? People talking about Aubameyang's world class. Well, if he's world class, then so is Anthony Martial, mate. The numbers don't lie.
I think with Martial, he got goal involvement every 114 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah. Which
is just insane, seeing that he's been playing with Jesse, Pereira, Wama at the start of the season with no creativity.
Exactly.
And Dan James.
Yeah, he's the most harshly criticized player in the Premier League, I think. It's horrible, isn't it? When you look at like his goal involvement, like he almost guarantees you one like every game, almost. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's unheard of, mate. And he gets a lot of stick. And then Aubameyang, what was it like? It was what 140 something minutes in it or something. His goal involvement, and most of the time, them involvements are scoring. So we know who the better all-around footballer is. That can't be argued. But I honestly think that when you look at the age difference between Martial and Aubameyang as well, Martial's got all of the tools to be at that level that Aubameyang's at now going forward, bro. Because Aubameyang's what, 31? Martial's 23?
24.
24. So there you go, innit? Like that's a good 7-year gap between them guys, bro. That's a whole prime gap. So, you know what I mean? Martial, put some respect on his name, man.
Regarding the Aubameyang thing, Aubameyang created a chance every goal involvement every 125.56 minutes compared to Martial, who's 114.78.
There you go. Lovely. You know what I'm saying? And Tony, and what's the minutes played as well? Like, you look at the minutes played, discrepancy between that and the goals.
Martial's played 2,640 minutes. Aubameyang's played 3,139.
There you go. You know what I mean? And if you look at his average goal involvement per whatever minute, that tells you how many more goal involvements Martial would have if he played the same amount of minutes.
Or if you're taking penalties or something.
Wow, if he was taking pens, he would have been in the golden boot. Yeah, he would have had the golden boot. Do you know what I mean? So man have to put respect on Tony's name, innit?